Stop judging, that you may not be judged. For as you judge, so will you be judged. And the measure with which you measure will be measured out to you. Why do you not notice? Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own eye? At a place I used to be, Walter Hoving home, my little happy snow globe. We used to call, because the other versions it says a plank, wooden plank in your eye. We used to just call this plank eye. And we would call each other out sometimes and be like, sounds like somebody's got a case of plank eye. Sorry. How can you say to your brother, let me remove the splinter from your eye, while the wooden beam is in your eye? You hypocrite. Remove the wooden beam from your eye first. Then you will see clearly to remove the splinter from your brother's eye, if there is one. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if there is one or not when you got a wooden beam in your eye. For me, I have learned that anytime I think I see a splinter in somebody else's eye, what's really important is God is probably trying to let me know there's a beam in one of mine. This passage is very sad for me. Not sad exactly, but do not give what is holy to dogs, or throw your pearls before swine, lest they trample them underfoot and turn and tear you to pieces. So for me, I've realized that I have I'm going to say a condition. I guess I think that I am dog and swine blind. Like I can't tell the difference. Because so many times, like most people in my life, I would never say, oh, this is one of those people that could turn and devour me, right? I would never think that. It's just the way that I'm wired. And so I've been torn to pieces a lot in my life. And I struggle with that because it does, when the Lord shows something, because I'm not just saying, like, the Lord gives me something or opens something to me, or is guiding me a certain direction, and I'm excited and hopeful, and I share it with people. It's so easy for them to trample what I put out there and then devour me, right? And or tear me to pieces, depending upon the version. But so it's one of those things where I don't go as much by like assuming everybody's going to devour or whatever. Instead, I've thought of, I want to say it's like a chapter in Luke. I don't remember exactly where it is, but where it's talking about Mary as she is, like, I think it's after Jesus is in the temple. When they're looking for him, they lose him, and he was in the temple the whole time. And it says that Mary treasured all of these things in her heart. And I'm learning that more and more I need to take that attitude and treasure things in my heart and not put them out there, because I can't tell who's a dog and who's a swine. I can't tell. And so it's just, if there's something that has any degree of something precious to me that God has given, then I need to be a little bit more careful about putting it out there. Not because I'm assuming everybody's out to get me, but just because I need to treasure it in my heart, because it's safer there. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Which one of you would hand his son a stone when he asks for a loaf of bread, or a snake when he asks for a fish? If you then, who are wicked, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your heavenly Father give good things to those who ask him? To me, I've struggled with this one a little bit, because I always, when people press on this and say, well, I've been praying for certain things for a long time, and I definitely have, and people in my family have been praying for things for me for a long time, and it's like you don't see it come, and everybody always, well, not everybody always, but like a lot of time, if pressed, people will explain this away and say, well, the Lord knows it's not good for you, or kind of, we give reasons that maybe are true, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe this is um, more of a relation to James, like when you ask, you are asking so that you may spend it on your pleasures and not like in the will of God. And when you are asking in the will of God, or when I am asking in the will of God, I think I have realized, like, in my life, in my world, and everything, faith is hard because we are not raised as a culture of people. We are not raised to faith. We are raised to skepticism and doubt and self reliance. And not just self reliance, but trusting companies. We put a whole lot of faith in companies that manufacture our clothing and our food and all of those things, our medicines. And that's where we're trained to put our faith. And we are burned so much by those places that I think it makes it difficult to have real faith. And the more you look around and you see other people in the church and in, struggling, and it's hard to have faith that, well, they didn't heal that person, but I think he'll heal me, maybe. Like, it just, I think that there is just a struggle for faith for me. And that's something I'm contemplating. I don't know, but the season I'm in right now, that's what I keep wondering. Do to others what you would have them do to you. This is the law of the prophets. Now this, I put super nutshell in here because I think there's one thing I have with this that I think I understand the spirit of it, but the issue I have is when people do to others whatever you want them to do to you, that can be a problem because everyone's so different, and like if I, so the one thing I can say is for me, what I want people to do to me is learn enough about me to understand me before they do anything, right? Like, not assuming that, oh, I really want somebody to throw a surprise party for me when I'm feeling sad. You do that for me, that is super going to backfire. I don't do parties. I don't like surprises. It would be like, why did you do this? I was already down and now this is worse. And so I think that I'm assuming the spirit of it is more like not wronging and being honest and being um, kind and stuff, but not necessarily going out of your, like, not the same as like doing things for people and assuming that because you like it, they like it, kind of thing. I don't know. I can't make peace with that otherwise because I just don't understand how that would work. Anyways, enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the road broad that leads to destruction, and those who enter through it are many. How narrow the gate and constricted the road that leads to life, and those who find it are few. So this one to me is one that I think is just one to meditate on a little bit. Because if I would, like I said, I've been raised in churches and big churches, gone to a couple small churches and all kinds of things. And it's just, I don't understand. Like, if there's so many people and this is the way and there's all these people, I don't understand this passage because I do think that the way is narrow and constricted and it's hard. And I've had a lot of experience with the church with people that are wonderful people and, in my opinion, like wonderful Christians and all of that. But I do see that a lot of people I know don't seem to have a lot of challenges and difficulties, and they're like the world works well for them. They you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying I think that that's wrong. It just, I don't understand this passage if it's easy for some to walk this path. I don't understand why that is. And I don't know. And I know for me, through all the phases of my faith, there were times where it didn't feel very constricted at all. And little by little, phase by phase, um, as I'm disillusioned, progressively disillusioned more and more, the more I realize this is a hard path to walk. And not like, I mean, it's impossible to walk by myself, but it's not, I have to let go of a lot of things to be able to fit in this narrow path, you know? And I'll stop this, I'll do this in two parts because I rambled a lot. I don't know, the Sermon on the Mount is one that I just, there's so much packed in there, you know?